Today we'll be traveling from Trieste in the northeast of Italy on board of a Eurocity to Ljubljana. In Ljubljana our train will be combined with another train and that will go to Vienna. So basically we'll be taking a Eurocity from Trieste in Italy via Ljubljana in Slovenia to Vienna in Austria. This trip didn't went as smooth as it should go, but on the other hand it all went very smooth. I'll explain you why in this video. Join me on board of this train from Trieste in Italy to Vienna. I won't be taking it all the way to Vienna though. But for now let's get this video on the track and let's roll the intro. I arrived in Trieste with this Frecciarossa train that I took from Milan, and obviously there will be a trip report on that as well. At the front of the railway station there's a park where you find some bike sharing things, and a little bit more at the side, if you stand with your back to the railway station on the right hand side, there were quite some bus stops. At first I thought this would be a kind of a market hall, but it also has something from, well, maybe an old railway station, I don't know. But yeah, apparently a bus station. That makes quite a lot of sense. Most city buses do depart at the front over here. And yes, I know it's a trip report about the train, but I promise you I won't spend too much time on reviewing the bus station. Anyway, for the bus station you'll find both long distance and regional buses. And there's also quite some facilities within the bus station as well. Quite some shops and also ticket counters. I really like to see staffed ticket counters as well. And for some international crossings the bus is actually a better solution than the train. If you go over here along these doors you get out at this spot over here, and here there are some more bus stops. If you want to go for example to Koper, what is just across the border from here into Slovenia along the Slovenian coast, there is a railway line, but there are basically no trains running on that railway line. What's really a pity, so therefore the buses are a great connection as well. While Slovenia is in general maybe better by bus than by train, even though the trains are pretty good as well. Well, for now let's head into the real railway station building that's right next to the bus station. This railway station is also called Tiny Milano Centrale, and Milano Centrale, so Milan Central Railway Station, is really pretty as well. But when I was here there were quite some construction works, so I couldn't see that much of the prettiness of this railway station. The concourse at the front of the railway station, where I'm at right now, is by far the prettiest part of this railway station. Directly connected at the concourse of the front of the railway station there are some ticket counters and also vending machines. I have to say the infrastructure for buying your tickets online is very good as well, especially within Italy. Also for our train today the online infrastructure is pretty good. Both tickets within Italy, but also for our train today, you can buy all these tickets via the website and app of Trainline. Personally, I'm a big fan of Trainline. They make it way easier to buy train tickets in big parts of Europe, simply by combining several booking systems. Especially in Italy and Austria, where you find several railway companies on some routes, this can come in very handy. If I move a little bit more to the tracks, you get up in the, well, more modern part of this railway station. And there's even a railway station church. I haven't seen anything like this before, to be honest. Well, it's not big, but it's nice. I don't know if there will be services here or if it's just a pray area. If you know this, please let me know in the comments. The more modern area of this railway station, if you move towards the tracks, is way less pretty than the front part. At this part you find by far most shops. Although it seems like there is some room for more shops over here. Maybe they built it a little bit too ambitiously over here. I can also imagine that this place is mainly popular in the summertime, and in the wintertime it's less popular, at least for tourism. If we move closer towards the tracks we find more shops, and directions have been marked crystal clear within this railway station. Just like in basically all Italian railway stations, it's not only information in Italian but also in English. Information about departing trains can be found all over the railway station on clear departure screens and also screens that will host information about arriving trains. If you want to stock up some food, there's a supermarket here as well. And as you can see, this railway station is a terminal railway station, so this basically means the trains do end here or they need to go back the other way around if they leave the railway station and this is a stop along the way. My train today departed from track number 8, and this track is a little bit hidden at the back of the railway station, so I had to walk a bit. I don't know if these trains regularly depart from track number 8 or not, but well, keep this in mind and just count some extra time. But personally, I strongly recommend you to take some extra time in general, especially if you take a long distance train. Normally, the part that starts in Trieste consists of 3 carriages, so it's a very small train. 1 first class carriage and 2 second class carriages. But today, there were only 2 carriages, 1 first class carriage and 1 second class carriage. And the capacity in the first class isn't that great either. I'll show you why in a bit. Well, basically you can see it already here on the left, because you find the bicycle compartment that is actually quite big. Then you find these second class carriages. I think there might be not enough bookings for this, so this is why they have only 1. I don't know, but actually all the other trains I noticed on this route did have 2 second class carriages. Anyway, nobody needed to stand, so that wasn't a big problem at all. For now, let's enter the train, and I'll start off by showing you the second class carriages. Our train will run as EuroCity 135 from Trieste to Ljubljana, and after that it will run as EuroCity 150 from Ljubljana to Vienna. And I'll get back to this a little bit later on, because there was some struggles when it comes to this. Anyway, for now let's review the train, and I'll start off with the Austrian carriages, or the only carriages that will start in Trieste, the second class carriages. And this comes just like most European second class trains in a 2x2 configuration. And even though there's a lot of space for bikes, but also oversized luggage within the first class carriage, there are some bike spots here as well. Keep in mind, if you're traveling with a bike, you need to reserve a spot. Let's do a seat tour for the seats that do come in a composition you can find in airplanes or long distance buses. And these seats are quite well patterned. There's a sturdy fold-out table in the seat in front of you, and you find armrests at the side. If you have a reservation, this will be given in a small display right above the windows. And within the luggage racks above the seats, you will also find a small reading light. For the seats facing each other, a power socket is located right at the side under the table near the window, and all windows do have a sunscreen. For luggage, obviously you find the overhead luggage racks, but also between the back ends of the seats you can store quite some luggage. This is the advantage of having seats facing each other. The carriage that hosts the first class has mainly a lot of space for bikes and, well, maybe oversized luggage as well. And this is the area you can see over here. This space is just huge, and I think this compartment can also be closed. Right next to the bicycle compartment, basically towards the direction of the first class compartment, there's an area for the railway staff. And this is the first class, only holding 27 seats. If you like this video so far, please give me a thumbs up, really appreciate that. If you have any questions or even if you just want to say hello, leave a comment. And if you like to see more trip reports like this channel is mainly focusing on long distance and cross-border train traveling, then hit that subscribe button if you haven't done this already. For now, let's continue with this video. Let's continue to the first class. This is the only first class in this entire route, so also on the section Ljubljana-Vienna there won't be a first class carriage attached to this. The airline style or long distance bus seat composition seats do have a footrest, a magazine rack, a sturdy fold-out table, and you find a power socket. Just like everywhere in this train, you find sunscreens in the windows, and the seat reservations will be displayed on an old-fashioned paper right above the windows. Within the luggage racks there's a reading light, and within the first class carriage you also find the accessible area of this train. Let it be no surprise that next to the accessible area you will also find the bigger accessible toilet. You can also use this as a diaper changing facility if you're traveling with a little baby, as you can see over here. Let it be no surprise, these trains don't have barrier-free access, so if you're traveling in a wheelchair and you need assistance, You need to request this at the moment you book your tickets. For the rest, the first class isn't that much different compared to the second class. At least the carriages I just showed you. However, you have more space, the seats are a bit more comfortable, and that's basically it. Both the carriages for the first and the second class are definitely not the newest carriages. I don't know if this will be replaced anytime soon or not. Apart from the train that we'll be taking, you also find regional trains on the route Trieste-Ljubljana, and that are these trains you can see here on the right. These are the same trains as, for example, the Sprinter trains in the Netherlands, although the interior is slightly different, obviously. Those regional trains needed slightly shorter travel time. I was traveling with the use of an Interrail or Eurail, and if I looked up the timetable for this train in the Interrail or Eurail app, I couldn't find it. Basically, the part from Trieste to Ljubljana wasn't visible, but from Ljubljana to Vienna it was visible. Basically, only on the website and app of the ÖBB, the Austrian state-owned railway company, I could find this train for the entire route. Via the German state-owned railway company, what basically uses the same resource for the timetables, and also Google Maps for example, and the Eurail and Interrail app, I couldn't find this train, at least not for the section Trieste to Ljubljana. I mean, I understand that sometimes it's not possible to publish the timetable literally everywhere. However, if you want to encourage people to at least take this train, what is not even the fastest option on this route as well, well, then I think you should make it at least way easier for people to find the timetable. The route in Italy is not that long. Basically, we'll pass by the coast, and after a bit the train goes up in the mountains and moves to the border railway station on the Italian side of the border. Also within the train I needed to pay for an extra surcharge because I was traveling with the use of Interrail. Because I couldn't find this train in the Interrail or Eurail app, I didn't know this before. The surcharge is not that much though, so it's fine. It was €4.60 for first class. I guess second class will be lower priced for this. After a bit the train arrives at the border railway station on the Italian side of the border, and to my surprise our engine will be changed over here. I didn't expect this because the engine we had for the first part of the route, on the engine itself it was saying that it's capable to operate in Italy, Slovenia and obviously Austria because it was an Austrian engine. But here we go. Here we have our Slovenian locomotive that will take us further into Slovenia. And that's exactly what happened. But as I already mentioned during the introduction, this trip went not smooth at all, but on the other hand it went all pretty smooth. And this basically meant that at the moment we arrived in Slovenia we needed to change trains. Well, I know we were missing a second class carriage, but I think it was still good to continue with the current train to Ljubljana. But here we have to change trains on this way more modern regional trains towards Ljubljana. It's a very regional train though, without a first class. But personally the comfort level was still pretty good, so I didn't mind this, to be honest. No, I didn't have my first class, but well, for the rest this train was pretty fine. There was no delay, there was even more capacity so more people could have a seat. So I think this is totally fine, to be honest. For now I just show you the views from the train, and at the moment the train is in Ljubljana, I will show you the train you can expect on the section Ljubljana to Vienna, what is definitely a prettier section of the route. Here our train is arriving in Ljubljana, the capital of Slovenia. Before I show you the train, let me show you how the train should look like in any normal situation. For the section Ljubljana to Vienna, there will be 2 second-class carriages of the Slovenian railways attached to this, and also a dining car. And apart from that, you have the composition, what should be the composition you have from Trieste to Ljubljana, what are 2 second-class ÖBB carriages and 1 first-class ÖBB carriage. The Slovenian second-class carriages do come in compartments, and these are 6-people compartments. At the side you will find the seat numbers, and also if there is a reservation, there will be a paper put in here, well, that mentions from where to where a seat has been reserved. Personally, in these carriages I really prefer the aisle seats, because simply you can move around a bit easier and you still have a good view from the windows. There's a small table at the side near the window, and also the aisle seats do have a small table you can fold out. For luggage you find the overhead luggage racks within these compartments, but for the rest they're not that special. These carriages are air conditioned, by the way. Personally, I really prefer the open carriages, so the second class in the Austrian carriages. Unless I have these 6-people compartments to myself or my travel companion. Anyway, what makes this train absolutely great is the dining car you find between Ljubljana and Vienna. This might be the best dining car I ever had on a train. This Slovenian dining car can only be found on this route. On some domestic routes in Slovenia where you find a dining car as well, the selection is very different. One big downside when it comes to this, you can only pay with cash, and I wasn't prepared for that, to be honest. And even though the prices are very reasonable on board of this train, you also find the most expensive item you can find on the menu of a dining car within Europe. What is a champagne with gold in it? Yeah, I think that's obvious that it is pricey. Personally, I don't understand why you would put gold in the champagne, but hey, if people want to pay this, be my guest. It's €86. But for the rest, all the prices are very reasonable. And this train might not be the most fancy train or the most luxury train I ever had. And even, it's absolutely not the fastest train either. But this dining car just makes the whole travel experience so much nicer and better. And when it comes to general travel experience and the comfort level, well, this is not a bad train. Anyway, a quick summary. From Trieste to Ljubljana, you will find 3 carriages for this train, and these are the Austrian carriages. The engine will be changed at the Slovenian-Italian border. From Ljubljana, there will be 3 cars added to this. 2 second-class seating carriages and the awesome dining car. At the border railway station with Austria, the engine will be changed as well. And even though you find locomotives that can run for the entire route, they won't use them for this train, unfortunately. I think this way you can cut down the travel time at least by 20 to 30 minutes. However, what I found in Ljubljana for my train was this. 1 engine and 2 second-class carriages. This is less than half the size of what the train should be, and also no dining car. Apart from that, these carriages are different than the carriages you might expect normally. The first carriage, what is this carriage here on the right, and also the most modern one, is not even Slovenian. This is a Croatian second-class carriage. It's a perfect carriage though, don't get me wrong, but it's just not what you might expect. The other carriage was this quite old-fashioned Slovenian carriage that only has compartments. And even though this is a very old-fashioned carriage, the comfort level is pretty good though. These are typical 6-people compartments for day trains. And well, they are like what you might expect. And the comfort level for these specific carriages is just really good. The seats are very comfortable and soft, and you can recline these seats pretty well as well. There's no air conditioning for these compartments, but you can open up the windows. The seats are really comfortable. Really comfortable. Old school, but good. Well, I kind of like this carriage, and I don't mind we have this. I even don't mind that I cannot travel in the first class I originally booked. even though I almost never book first class. Well, no train tour is complete without showing the toilets, and I just basically put my camera in. Actually, that was a washing area. This here is the toilet. Also really old school, you would dump your ass straight at the tracks. In any normal situation, the train makes a longer stop in Ljubljana. This to combine the trains. And this also meant I had some extra time to change from, well, one train to the other one, what was still basically the same train. Even though I really liked the 6 people compartments in the day train, I decided to take a sit in the open carriage. Simply because, especially if I'm traveling alone, I prefer this a bit more. And let's do a seat tour. You find a very wobbly tray table in the seat in front of you, a magazine rack and a footrest. When it comes to leg room and comfort level, it's so-so. It's not bad, it's not great either. The seats can be reclined a little bit, as you can see over here. It's just very little, but it's nice, you can recline them a bit. Power sockets are located right under the seats, between the seats. This is also where you find a litter bin. Well, for the rest, these carriages are pretty simple. There's some extra space for luggage behind the last rows in the carriage, and obviously you find the overhead luggage racks throughout the carriage. Because this train was also different than originally planned, seat reservations, well, they were just not there. However, even though the composition of the train was different than it should be originally, there were enough seats, well, there were only some people that needed to stand, and we were still bang on time, what is absolutely great. So in that sense, this journey went pretty smooth. Slovenia might be a very small country. They are really investing a lot in their railway system. And they should, especially for international traveling. Slovenia might play a bigger role than you might think at first. Basically, of all the main railway lines, there's only one domestic railway line, and that's the railway line to Koper. For the rest, all these railway lines, at least the main lines, will go into other countries. And when it comes to rolling stock, so the trains, but also the maintenance for the main lines, Slovenia is really improving a lot when it comes to this. And this was also needed. Slovenia is just an absolutely beautiful tiny country. 61% of the entire land area has been covered by forest. For now I just show you some views from the train between Ljubljana and the border with Austria, and I'll get back to you at that point. I'll give some more information about the routes etc. on the screen. This will all be written. For now just sit back, relax and enjoy the beautiful views from the train. Here, our 2 carriage long train is arriving at the border town in Austria. And normally the engine, so the locomotive, needs to be changed here. However, at the opposite side of the track, there was the train in the composition that we should have for the train that I actually took. So I was pleased I could at least film the exterior of what you might expect if you travel on this route by yourself. However, everybody was asked to leave the train we took from Ljubljana and board the train on the opposite side of the track. I guess this makes sense really, because it's easier than changing the engine, and if it's standing here anyway. So this would be the 4th train for this railway journey, what should normally be in one train, and these are the Austrian carriages you can see right here. Because the train wasn't standing fully right next to the platform, it needed to be a little bit more drove to the front of the platform. And after that, everybody could board the other train at the railway station of Spielfeld to continue the journey into direction Vienna. I only joined the railway journey until the railway station of Graz, what isn't too far away. Until 2026, this train will go over the stunning Semmering railway line just south from Vienna, over the Alps. From 2026, this will be along a new tunnel, and therefore the travel time will be reduced big time by at least 2 hours. The next morning I traveled back from Graz to Ljubljana on board of a regional train to Maribor, what is the 2nd city of Slovenia, and from there on I took one of their Pendolino intercities, what are the fastest intercities within Slovenia, to Ljubljana. I'm here in Graz. The train will continue to Vienna though. This ride was not as smooth as I expected at first. That's the least I could say. I still enjoyed it though, but I think I would have enjoyed it much more if the dining car would have been there for the entire ride. And maybe also the first class carriage. I don't travel that often first class, and when I do travel first class, I really appreciate it if the carriage is there. Well, I think I'll make a claim for that. Anyway, I hope you liked this video, or this has been a helpful video to you. Once again, if you take this train, it probably will be all way more smooth than what I had in this video. I hope you liked it. If you did so, please give me a thumbs up, or it has been helpful to you. I really appreciate that. And if you like to see more trip reports about long distance and cross-bordering train traveling, then hit that subscribe button if you haven't done this already. Before we really end up this video, one last thing. Let's take a close look on the environmental impact if you're traveling on this route by train, car and plane. Well, obviously trains are the most sustainable way of transportation. Travel time and distance are actually never related if you're traveling by train, and I think this route also proves that. It's not a super long distance, but the travel time by train is relatively long, around 9 hours and 10 minutes, while the car and the plane needs both around 5 hours. However, to me the train is still the absolutely winner, because you can travel and relax at the same time and just go to the dining car, enjoy the beautiful views, no stress, and it's obviously way better for the environment. But I think I also need to be honest with you, at the moment the train is just not the fastest way. But it's definitely the most scenic way. When it comes to the carbon footprint, the train is 96.25% lower than taking the plane on the same route. And the aviation industry is talking a lot about sustainability, for example planes that can be 20% more sustainable. What is still a joke, and we haven't seen any of these planes yet anyway. But anyway, in that situation, the difference in the pollution for the train compared to by the plane would be 0.25% less in favor for the plane. In other words, sustainable flying just doesn't exist. The aviation industry set several targets for themselves to become more sustainable, but they haven't met any target they have set for themselves. To me, this is the same thing as breaking your promises. Imagine doing the same thing in a marriage. Well, that's it for now. I really have to end up this video. For now, I really hope you liked this video or this has been helpful to you. If so, please give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more, You can find them on this channel, and something else you find in the description of this video is a link to a map, and on this map you can find all trip reports. See you on the next video.